Gabriel's eyes snapped open, Master Talon's cryptic words echoing in his mind. A task concealed from Mistress Faye? His curiosity was piqued. Master Talon, what is this task? He asked.
There is an ancient sword, known as the Blade of Eternity, that is hidden somewhere in the depths of the Academy. I need you to find it and bring it to me.
Master Talon replied, his voice strained with urgency. Gabriel frowned. What is so special about this blade? And why the secrecy from Mistress Faye? Will it help with your injury?
I cannot say more. Just know that it is important you retrieve this sword before anyone else discovers its presence. Use all your skills in stealth and investigation, but take care not to arouse suspicion. No one can know.
Though puzzled by the vagueness, Gabriel agreed. I will do my best to locate the Blade of Eternity and deliver it to you, but would you teach me something in return? There was a momentary silence from Master Talon before he spoke.
Fine. I will teach you the life and death technique.
What level is this sword technique? Who created it? Gabriel asked, growing excited at the thought of mastering a new skill. Master Talon chuckled.
There's no level.
No level?
No level. How well you execute this technique is fully dependent on you and your state of mind.
Master Talon responded simply.
It was created by your swordmaster.
You mean the woman who gave me Skypiercer? The woman in white? Gabriel asked.
Is that the name you've come up with for her?
Master Talon was incredulous. What should I call her instead?
Woman in white is fine.
Gabriel frowned in confusion. Why was Master Talon being so secretive? He brushed it off, figuring his mentor would tell him when the time was right.
She's the only one who has mastered this technique, he continued. And maybe one day you will too.
Gabriel nodded determinedly. Centering himself, he closed his eyes. I'm ready. Almost immediately, information started pouring into Gabriel's mind as Master Talon spoke.
Remember that you are one with your sword. The concept of this technique is that with your sword, you can determine if another lives or dies. Your state of mind is key to mastering this technique. You need to fully believe it with every part of your being, and let your sword speak for you.
Gabriel struggled with comprehending the technique at first. Wasn't that the whole point of the sword? It was a killing instrument that could both harm and save lives. But he pressed on under Master Talon's guidance, and the more he practiced, the more he understood the technique. It was an efficient technique that relied on reading one's intention. Instead of wielding the sword against individual opponents, the life and death technique was able to extrapolate one's intentions to save or kill. It required a substantial amount of sun-blessed abilities, and Gabriel was sure he was only beginning to scratch the surface of the technique's full potential.
That's enough for today, Gabriel,
Master Talon finally declared. Sensing the young man's frustration,
you will master the technique as you continue to improve.
Gabriel sighed frustratedly. But Master, I'm just starting to understand it.
Remember to find the Blade of Eternity.
With those stern parting words, Master Talon's presence faded from Gabriel's mind. Gabriel contemplated the mysterious task before him as the cloud boat sailed on through the night. Come morning, the Southern Academy loomed large on the horizon. The Academy was made out of several castle-like buildings that sat on different mountains on the same range. The tall spires and gleaming structures made a magnificent sight. Wow. Gabriel couldn't help but think to himself. Suddenly, dozens of enormous cranes took flight like giant statues. As their wings flapped, strange lightning flickered. Aren't they beautiful? Inya spoke, appearing next to him. I never get tired of the view on the way to the Academy. What are those?" he asked softly. Mistress Fay came up on the other side of him. "Lightning cranes. We raise them at the academy. They're amazing." Mistress Fay smiled. "You'll discover even more amazing things at the Southern Academy." The cloud boat finally came to a stop at the entrance of the Southern Academy. Gabriel and Inya disembarked, immediately turning heads with their striking looks and powerful auras. Whispers of admiration and envy followed them as Mistress Fay led them to her quarters on the Academy's most eastern mountain. Gabriel was astounded by the size and magnificence of the Southern Academy's territory. It was much larger and grander than what the Yamato clan had back in Haleth. He thought briefly about how he was going to find the Blade of Eternity amidst the sprawling landscape and numerous buildings the Academy boasted. "This is Banner Hall," she announced to Gabriel as they came upon a large gray-stoned house. "It's my private residence and training grounds. You and Inya are the only students who will reside here." "Most students stay in the main hall," Inya supplied helpfully. "It's usually only the chief students who stay with their tutors." "But I have a feeling that you're going to be trouble," Mistress Fay added, scrutinizing Gabriel. "So, I'm going to have to keep a close eye on you." Gabriel grinned widely. "I have no idea what you mean. You don't have to worry about me one bit, mistress." Mistress Fay shook her head exasperatedly. Gabriel could swear there was a hint of fondness in the older woman's expression. "Go to the main library and familiarize yourself with the Valandra method, along with the rules of the Academy. It'll do you some good while you're here." Gabriel nodded in acknowledgement. "Yes, mistress." Then she turned to her prodigy. "Inya, it's time for our training session. Come with me." "Yes, mistress." "See you later, Gabriel," she whispered quickly to her betrothed before following Mistress Fay to the training grounds. The main library was located in the main hall of the Academy. Figuring it was as good a place as any to start looking for the Blade of Eternity, Gabriel took the opportunity to familiarize himself with the grounds of the central mountain that the main hall was on. He walked the tree-lined vistas and explored the winding passages and cavernous halls of the main building, but he didn't sense the presence of any blade. "Do you sense it, Master Talon?" Gabriel spoke in his mind to the Black Jadeite. "No, I doubt they would store it on the central mountain. It's more than likely somewhere we'd least expect," came Master Talon's reply. Relenting for the day, Gabriel finally made his way to the main library and was astounded at the extensive assortment of texts the Southern Academy housed. The library was at least 7 times larger than the Yamato clan's library, and Gabriel grew excited at the prospect of absorbing all the knowledge it had to offer. Reaching for the first books he could find on the Valandra method and the Academy rules, he sat down to read. Time passed quickly as Gabriel made his way through the texts. He felt his world expanding the more he read. Lower Realm consisted of 3 states, Valandra in the south, Bazumo in the north, and Idaris in the east. Each state had its own academies, and the academies in the Lower Realm had a good, diplomatic relationship with the Treasure Pavilion. The Treasure Pavilion was a commercial powerhouse that offered services such as buying and selling sun-blessed goods and sun crystal loans. They were a rich and well-connected entity whose only competitor for power and influence was the Academy, but it was well and good for the people of the Lower Realm that there was a cooperative relationship. The text also mentioned an Upper Realm, which had 2 states but didn't provide much detail other than a brief statement about the huge martial arts tournament called the Decennium that was held every 10 years. To his chagrin, he came to find that the Academy had hundreds of rules that had to be strictly followed. He was on Rule 97 when he suddenly heard Master Talon's voice in his head. "How about a training session?" his master asked. Tired from reading rules, Gabriel was quick to agree. With his newfound knowledge and more texts in hand, he retired to Banner Hall. He made his way to a clearing on the outskirts of the house and began to train under Master Talon's guidance. By the end of the day, he had improved his mastery of the life and death technique. Gabriel's first night at the Southern Academy passed without fanfare. Mistress Fay and Inya had come to fetch him for dinner before they all retired to their respective rooms. But the next morning, Gabriel awoke to a commotion. Rushing out to the front of Banner Hall, he saw an exasperated Inya surrounded by a horde of students. Across from Inya, holding a bouquet of roses and kneeling down on one knee, was a fairly good-looking young man. "My darling Inya, be mine and I will lay the realms at your feet," Adrian proclaimed theatrically before the gathered crowd. Gabriel squeezed past the crowd and made his way to Inya. "Good morning. Who is this?" Inya turned to Gabriel and offered him a small, tired smile. "Good morning. This is Adrian Voss. He won't take no for an answer, and I'm quite fed up." Gabriel bristled. "Leave. She doesn't want you here." Adrian's eyes narrowed as he looked Gabriel up and down. He stood up from his kneeling position to his full height. "And who might you be?" "Gabriel," he said simply. "Oh, I know who you are," Adrian sneered. "You're Enya's betrothed from the poor Yamato clan. You're no match for her." The crowd gasped. They had no idea the talented prodigy of Mistress Fay was engaged, much less to a nobody from a small dying clan. "Inya, you deserve better than that nameless foundling," Adrian scoffed. "Break this engagement and I will make you the happiest woman in all the realms." Anger simmered in Inya, and she stepped forward threateningly. "You will watch your words when speaking of my betrothed," she warned. "Who are you to tell me who is or isn't a match for me?" Gabriel had long grown used to such words. They barely affected him anymore, but he was touched by Inya's quickness to defend him. He tugged on her arm. "The rules, Inya," he reminded her. The academy rules were fresh in his mind. He knew that fighting outside of stipulated circumstances was not allowed and could result in expulsion. Inya gritted her teeth, tempering her anger. Adrian's smirk turned into genuine confusion. "Wait, Inya, you're not serious. You're choosing a nobody over me? He has nothing to his name. No money, no backing." "I choose Gabriel as he is," Inya defended. Gabriel reddened in embarrassment and anger. Seeing the rise he was getting out of Gabriel and feeling bolstered by their audience, Adrian smirked. "You want to fight me, weakling?" Gabriel clenched his fists, holding back his urge to attack. "It's not worth it, Gabriel," Inya said. "You're right." Gabriel looked at Inya, then said loudly for everyone to hear. "It's not like he'd be able to beat me anyway. I've mastered the iron body art." "That's impossible," Adrian exclaimed. "There's no way that you've managed to master a skill that only solar deities and above can practice. I bet you're barely even a sun saint." Gabriel shrugged casually, unbothered. "Believe what you want. Or maybe you're just too scared to lose to Sun Saint. Either way, you're done here. Inya isn't interested. Leave." The crowd oohed, clearly impressed by Gabriel's attitude, but it only served to taunt Adrian. "Prove that you've mastered the iron body art," he dared Gabriel. "I don't have to prove anything to you." Gabriel replied coolly. "Let's go, Inya." He took Inya's hand and led her back toward Banner Hall. "See? He lies," Adrian shouted to the crowd, trying to turn them against Gabriel. "I'll prove it to you." "Gabriel!" Inya exclaimed as she saw Adrian come barreling toward Gabriel. Gabriel gently pushed Inya to the side and turned to face Adrian head-on, but made no move to defend himself as Adrian's fist collided with his chest. Gabriel was sent flying back several meters before crashing heavily onto the ground. He slowly rose to his feet, gritting his teeth against the pain. Adrian smirked, thinking he had easily bested this country bumpkin. "I told you he was a liar," he declared to the crowd. "There's no way he's mastered the iron body art." But in the next instant, Gabriel suddenly leaped forward with blinding speed. Before Adrian could react, Gabriel landed a sharp slap across his smug face. The resounding impact sent Adrian flying bodily through the air, but mid-flight, Gabriel appeared above him and delivered a brutal knee strike to his abdomen. Adrian coughed violently as he spat out a mouthful of essence blood. The crowd looked on in shock as the arrogant noble was battered by this unknown youth. Adrian's face twisted in a vicious rage when he realized what Gabriel had done. He'd goaded him into making the first move.
"You dare ambush me, you filthy mongrel,"
he sputtered angrily.
"I'll make you suffer dearly for this humiliation."
Adrian let loose a feral roar and charged at Gabriel like a maddened bull. His eyes were wide with murderous rage, spit flying from his bared teeth. He unleashed a devastating combination of strikes, each powered by the explosive force of his simmering fury. Gabriel defended himself, using his speed to put distance between them. When Adrian slowed in his attacks, growing fatigued from his unsuccessful strikes, Gabriel shot forward in a blur. The students gasped as a sharp crack resounded through the courtyard, Adrian's severed head tumbling limply from his shoulders in a spray of crimson. A hush fell over the crowd, all eyes fixed on Gabriel. His chest heaved from the exertion as the gravity of his actions slowly dawned on him. He'd just taken Adrian's life. Just then, over a dozen powerful beings suddenly descended from the sky. "It's the custodians!" one of the students exclaimed. "Who are they?" Gabriel asked, turning to Inya. "The custodians enforce the rules of the academy," Inya explained. Gabriel's heart sank. "I'm in trouble, aren't I?"